Right dudes, welcome to the channel. Today I'm quickly going to be speaking about the Vauxhall Vectra C model. This is a 2008 model, just before to turn to the Insignia. This is the 1.9 diesel 150 brake. So for those that know me, they'll know that I get through cars and bikes like confetti. I'm always after the next best thing. I'm always not spending much, and I'm always bitting and bobbing. I've always got an excuse to be swapping, be it phones, cars, motorbikes, the list goes on. The wife really does put up with it. However, today I want to talk about this bad boy and the reasons why I've got it, and if it makes sense in 2020. With this being the 2008 model, it's a 12-year-old car now. Now, depending on what your budget is, that can be a new car, or it can be a relatively old car. Some people will say the old car when it's 5 years old. For me, it's just a mode of transport, but it always has to be able to be, one, good on fuel, two, it's got to be reliable, and three, it's nice if it looks good. I don't want to be in something that looks like a granddad car, and prior to this, I believe I've done that. I had a Honda CR-V, take nothing away from Honda at all, the proper reliable cars, but I just wasn't prepared to be in the Honda club in a CR-V or a Honda Jazz yet at the age of 42. So I only had that for a couple of months. A lovely motor, it just didn't do it for me. So today I'm riding around in the Vectra C. Like I say, the last model before they changed in the Insignia. Now the early models in the Insignia get absolutely panned. So you'd like to think at the end of this sort of the Vectra sort of life, they've pretty much got it down. This has got plenty of power. We're talking quickly then about the engine itself. 150 brake. It's connected to an automatic gearbox. Now, I love autos, and especially like the auto boxes that are in Vectras, Signums, or any of the Vauxhall range, because they're a 6-gear box, and I think they're really good. They're still good on fuel. You get hammered for the tax, so the tax on this is 300 quid a year, which I think is a lot really for a diesel, but it's obviously a dirty diesel, because when you fire it up, it sounds like a Chieftain tank. But once you're rolling, it's fine. It's like now, there's no engine noise at all. And it's just running dead smooth. On my way to work, it's a 10-mile trek, all on B roads, and I'm averaging 46-47 miles per gallon, which I think for a big car like a Vectra is really good. As soon as you get onto the motorways, you can stick it on cruise control and you'll return 58-60 miles per gallon, no problem at all. This model that I'm driving around in, this is the SRI model, so it's not quite elite spec. It's got cloth interior, but it has got bolstered seats, as you can't see, but I've got bolstered seats which support your body really well. The interior is nice and easy to understand. Everything's within reach. This doesn't have climate control, which is probably one of the few things that I do miss, having come from the Honda, where you can just set it at 21 degrees and leave it. This one, I always seem to be messing with the heater controls, either turning it up, turning it down, just trying to get it right, but that's just me being picky. But everything else seems to work really well. This car has done 82,000 miles. It's had 2 owners from new, and it's got full Vauxhall service history from the get-go. So as far as a Vectra at the end of its life being a Type C 2008, I think they were still selling them in 2009. I've seen a few on the road, but they must have been crossing over with the Insignias. I can't really knock this. It's nice to drive, it's comfortable, there's no knocking, and although it's the SRI model, which has supposedly got the harder suspension, I certainly find it a comfier ride than being in the Honda CR-V. Now, that might be the fact that the Honda had done a few miles and this has only done 82, but for me, this is a far better drive. A lot of people don't like this steering wheel. You can't see it, but it's slightly smaller than normal. I must admit, I really like it. I find it comfortable to hold on to. I find that I can control the car fine with it. So to get to the question, is this car still useful, relevant in 2020? I think the answer is yes. It still looks well for me, don't get me wrong. It's certainly not top of its game with regards to looking modern at all, but there's far worse cars out there. I mean, you look at some of the old cars from the Ford range, the Focuses in the early 2000s and stuff, mid 2000s, they look crap, as do the Fiestas. They look like little boxes, where this car still looks modern, and I think it's testament really to the design. We're not quite at VW levels of design, but it's still a good looking car. With this being the SRI model, I'll take you for a look around in a moment. You'll see what I mean. It's got nice headlights, the exterior looks well, it's got nice wheels, so it's still an attractive looking car, and for a budget price which I paid for it, I think I got it at an absolute steal. We're in the middle of the coronavirus, so businesses are a little bit hard up, and I took advantage of that, so yeah, that was a win for me. But it's certainly, as a car in 2020, for me it makes perfect sense. If you can live with the tax cost, which a lot of people who are using diesels to commute, then it's a worthwhile investment. I've bought it to tow a caravan, and apparently, according to the caravan groups and everything, they're very good tow cars. With having an automatic box, it just takes all the hassle out of having to change gear, ill starts and such like, and I've just been lazy, and I really like auto boxes. The older I'm getting, the more accustomed to lazy boxes I'm becoming, and it drives so nice that to be fair, this box is probably better than I am at changing gear with a manual, so why not? But overall, it's a solid thumbs up for me. We'll have a quick walk around the vehicle now. You'll see what it's looking like on the outside, how it's weathered for a 12-year-old vehicle. I mean, granted, it's got a little bit of a scuff on the alloy, but how well it's weathered for 12 years as well. You'll see there's no rust on it. So if you look after a car, it's you'll get it back anyway at the end. But thanks for tuning in. Let's go and have a look around the car. Okay, and finally, here's the interior. So as you can see, it's very easily laid out. It's got some controls on the steering wheel, so you got your volume and such like, your CD player. That supposedly changes that. However, this one doesn't work. It's the only thing that doesn't work on the car. On the end, you've got your cruise control, nice and easy to use, very simple. And then at the back there, you can just see really easy, clear dials. Nothing really to write home about. Got the controls down here, which are done. You can see up the top there, I've not got automated lights. These ones you have to do the old-fashioned way, turn them on. Again with your fog lights, and then you've got your windows locks, ups, down, and moving all them around. Nothing really to write home about. Moving across then to the center console, nice 1980s dial looking thing there, isn't it? Beautiful. So we've got that there, and you can see it's like it's something out of a time warp, so that gives away its age. I've got a beautiful CD player, but no CDs to put in it. You've got your trip computer, which you do through this. And then you have to pressing all these buttons here, so that's not so easy to use in the modern day. And as I was talking of earlier, there's the controls. Yeah, nothing really to write home about. So there's the cars that you remember of old. On this model, I've got a little armrest that moves backwards and forwards. Find that quite handy, and that's what the seats are going to look like. So you can see they've got really good bolsters on them, and yeah, they're quite sturdy. In the back, not as much room as you'd expect, really. Certainly not as much as there would be in an Insignia. But in short, that's the interior of a Vectra C. Beautiful. Okay, so here we are on the outside. I'm not going to go walking all around it because, as you can probably guess, it's symmetrical on both sides. You can see at the front there, got nice looking little fog lights. It's quite nice with the V bit at the start there. So we're talking about earlier about the headlights. See, I think they're quite smart looking, and this is all standard. Alloys, which are a good size on there. They're 17-inch alloys, and to me, and I'm hoping the camera represents this, yeah, it looks dated, but it's not a bad looking car. I don't think so anyway. With this being the SRI model as well, it's got that little silver trim that you can see there that goes all the way across. I think if anything, the back end does look dated, especially with them headlights being like that. It's got a chrome exhaust outlet, and then I've got the mother of all tow bars that are just on there for carrying the caravan. But in short, we've all seen a Vectra before, haven't we? Let's be honest. That's it. Let's get back to the interior then. So that's that then. That was my review on the 1.9 diesel auto on the Vectra C 2008. What I didn't speak about was the size of the boot. You'll have seen from the outside, and if you've looked into these cars at all or you've seen them at work, the massive boots. Brilliant for putting dogs in back. With having the hatch on the back, even big dogs are okay in the back of it. These seats fold down flat, so you've got a massive load area. You'll easily get a fridge in it anyway, put it that way. And if that's your thing, carrying fridges are out. But in short, it's a cracking car. I know I'd said earlier in the review that it's a solid car for me, and it is. It's a good sized family car, cheap to buy, cheap to run, less the tax, and it don't look bad. It's better than riding around some crappy Fiesta on a P-Reg for a few quid. Pay a few pound more, get something that looks nice, and yeah, for me it does a job. Hopefully it's good at towing. I'll let people know how I get on with that towing later on in the year if we ever go out of this coronavirus. Also, I'm hoping to get back to doing a little bit more motorbikey stuff, but in the short term, I'm going to try and do a few bits and bobs, try and keep the channel ticking over. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments below. I don't know how to do all this techie crap with regards to doing bits and bobs, but I do know I appreciate your support. Thanks for all them people that have recently subscribed to the channel. There's been a real massive influx, and I think it's due to this coronavirus. So thanks very much, guys, for all the people that have subscribed. I really appreciate it. Until then, till I'm out on another bike, keep safe. Take care.